Do you know I'm so into you? There's no other touch, and it hurts me so much. Yeah, yeah. Oh, oh, if you want me, do you want me? Yeah. I just wanna make you see. Here is where you want to be. Do you?
Again, though, folks, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to this special edition, this special edition of our program here, Freedom Crime Watch. We are getting sounds there now from our Jerome Gamer. Mr. Gamer, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, great. We are getting the traffic sound and what have you. Uh, uh, sorry. Again, this is a special edition of the program GHT on Freedom FM here. We are coming to you from the nation's capital, Monrovia, Liberia. And of course, this is the case involving uh, the case caption United States of America versus Stanton Witherspoon, case number 236005 C. Arrow Smith. Today, November 2nd, 2023, was the sentencing day for Jerome Stanton Witherspoon. And Jerome Gayman is our co-host that is outside the federal district court there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Mr. Gayman, good afternoon to you there, or good morning. Welcome, and how you doing today?
Thank you very much. It's a beautiful day in Florida here. A little windy, but cool, 76 degrees, downtown Fort Lauderdale at the federal courthouse. And it is beautiful. It's a beautiful day in Florida. I don't know if it's such a beautiful day for those that were behind me here in this courthouse.
Right.
Today was the D-Day.
Today was the D-Day. And we're going to come to that momentarily, but describe for us here your arrival at the court this morning.
Well, I want to warn our folks, we are in a heavily trafficked area, so you're going to be hearing noise in the background. You're going to have people walking in and out of the courthouses, and you're going to hear the noise, so please bear with us. I came in this morning. I got here about 30 minutes before, hoping to come in and see the entire proceeding, which I did. I came in, got here, parked my car as usual, checked in, got frisked, went through the machine and came back out and waited to see whether the defendants were coming through.
Right.
But we were told to go in, and I went in. As I was going through, I came across Mr. Defendant and his lawyer.
Yeah.
He parked next to me in the same parking space where you and I parked.
Yeah, the first time.
Yes, and I approached him and his lawyer. I said, Mr. Defendant, will you mind having a word with me? I got a few questions for you.
Right.
And then the lawyer intercepted and said, we are getting late for our sentencing. We can't talk to anybody now. And I left and went right back into the courthouse in room 202.
Correct.
We went upstairs, sat down. Mr. Defendant came with his wife and his son, and they came to plead for mercy. And when she took the stand to plead for her husband, the prosecutor was very firm and very strong. She said she's the director of nursing at a school, at a hospital in New York, in the Bronx. And after she said that he is the pillar of their family, he's a man who is very ethical and moral, a family man, a man who wouldn't hurt a fly. He's a guy who has a son. He's a caregiver. He's taking care of his mother-in-law who has Alzheimer's.
Right.
and she cannot afford to lose him. And she went on, and the prosecution took an exception to that. He said, "Can I ask you, ma'am, how long did it take you to qualify yourself? You say you have a master's degree as an administrator.
You are
You
right.
said you have an RN as an administrator. How long did it take you to acquire your credential, especially your RN degree?" She said, "It took me 24 months." Then he says, "How do you feel that it took you 24 months of hard work, and here you are, your husband is selling diploma to people who never qualified and got right into the workforce?" She says, "I feel badly for him, but he is not the kind of guy that does that. He was led by somebody." And the prosecutor wanted to know, how do you feel that the the public is being harmed? Do you believe your husband's attitude has harmed the public? She was stunned, and she had to admit yes. And she she took her seat, and her lawyer came and said, "This man was an employee of Stanton Waterspoon. He was an employee. Yes, he made a lot of money at his share, but he was a salary employee.
Right.
Yes, they gave him some money to look the other way, but he is not a main culprit here." And they went through and they provided documentation and everything else. And at the end, the judge agreed with her assessment,
Uh-huh.
and they gave him uh, probation. He would be homebound for the next 36 months.
Bernardine.
Yeah,
Renee
Bernadine.
Renee Bernardine.
Yes,
Renee
but that,
Bernardine.
but that was not why we were here, as you
No,
know.
absolutely not. But I want to get I want to get
we,
I want to
we
get I
gave,
want to get I want to get to the
yes,
bottom of Renee's sentencing and what punishment he gets. Describe for us here. I was in the court with you on August 24th.
1 minute I got a bus here. The public transit bus in the north is so loud. 1 minute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, folks, you are listening to a descriptive analysis of what transpired today in the federal court there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where Stanton Witherspoon faced the judge and was sentenced to death. We're going to come to his sentencing and for how many years or months and what other punishments are meted out against him. Okay. Uh, Outside the courthouse there in Fort Lauderdale is heavy traffic. That's a traffic area. It's downtown of Fort Lauderdale. So traffic is everywhere. And as you can hear, the traffic up and down that road or that street, Broward Boulevard. I believe
Yeah,
that
this is
that's
a,
all right. Is
yeah,
it?
now let's go. We're a little
Yes.
clearer. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to get to the bottom of Rene Benader sentencing. Did I hear you say he gets 36 months home detention, no jail time?
No jail time. They said time served. It looks like he has served some time. But
Time served.
yeah, based on what the judges looked at, his file,
Yeah.
his plea, his cooperation with the state, to make this case possible for the state, he provided some very valuable information.
But
And based,
in earlier documents, Rene Benader indicated that he tried to stop Stanton from continuing because their institution was shut down many times, but Stanton kept reopening. And he's on record for saying that I told this man, let's stop this. But he would come and bring money and convince me and go into it and all of those things. Those are court records.
yes, he said also, his lawyer said, not only that, but Mr. Waterspoon kept reincorporating corporations.
Right.
When they shut one down, he would come
He
out and
opened
create
another
another
one.
one.
Yeah.
So,
But was it
those,
was Benadell fined any monies?
yes,
What?
Benadel was fined. Let me see here. He was to pay a substantial sum of money.
Yeah,
Uh, he was fined 1.5 million US dollars. That's been for Brother Dean.
yeah.
That's his responsibility. That's his share of the responsibility uh, for the crime that he committed. The judge also made clear why he was in employ and somebody was making him do some of these things. He also benefited.
He did.
He got paid handsomely.
Right.
So he cannot absolve himself of the crime totally. But the contract shows that he was an employee, not an owner or
Owner.
co-owner.
Right. Okay. Let's go back to the onset here. Uh, who all did you see in the court? As it relates to Liberians who have interest, or who went? Who all did you see in the court? How crowded was the court?
Well, the court was a little crowded today
Uh-huh.
than it was the last time. We have our sister media company. Our guest is Mr. So is here
Alfonso
covering
Zionso.
Mr. Mr. Alfonso Zien So sat next
That's
to me, and
that's Liberia Public Radio.
Liberia Public Radio, and he
Yeah.
is also covering it. But the rest of the folks that came were basically the Central Waterspoon Corporation.
Yeah.
In that group were the two Fadiga brothers.
The Fadiga brothers.
There's a gentleman, Reverend Collins, I think his name is.
Collison.
Collison, that's correct.
Yeah, but this Reverend Collison, that man drink more than fish, and he's one of those who wrote the letters too.
Yes, I have the letters here with me, and I
Yeah.
looked at the letter. And then there was another preacher that came along. He sounded either Sierra Leone or Ghanaian,
Uh-huh.
and he also came. Stanton Waterspoon's wife came. She dressed in an off-white, like cream suit.
Yeah.
His mother-in-law also came, and these were all character witnesses.
Right.
In that group was another gentleman by the name of Malbart. I think it's his brother-in-law. So they had about 10 people in his entourage. They all came to testify to beg for mercy.
Yeah.
But they never approached the stand. The lawyer did a great thing. She was very brilliant. She did not allow them to approach the podium, because once they approach the podium, that means they can be cross-examined,
Yeah.
because they got that experience from Mr. Brendan's wife when she was on the stand pleading for her husband. The prosecution took exception to her credentials and everything else that she was doing and
Yeah.
saying, and they kept her on the stand for a while. And it was an awkward position she was in. She was not prepared for that.
Yeah.
I think the Stanton Waterspoon folk decided they were not going to put his wife, his mother-in-law, his
And
friends through that, because they were just taking them apart.
right. So, yeah. What side of the courtroom were Witherspoon and others seated, and their family, as well as you? Were you seated in the same place we sat?
We sat in the same spot on the right-hand side, second row.
Yeah.
Seat 1 and 2. And Mr. So sat in your spot where you sat beside me.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was, but he introduced himself to me later on.
Yeah.
And we met for the first time and talked. The Waterspoon, all the convicts, they were on the left-hand side.
The left-hand side of the court.
On the left-hand side of the courtroom.
That would be the right hand of the judge.
Of the judge, that's correct.
Yeah.
and they were sitting at a table, and the entourage sat across outside of the box, and second row, and they occupy all three seats.
Right.
And he walked in. They brought him in. He had similar suit he wore the last time, the blue suit and the white shirt, open collar shirt. He
Yeah.
walked in. This time, his
Was he
demeanor
late?
was, excuse me?
Was he late this time? The last time he
No,
was
no,
about
no. He
three
wasn't
minutes
late
late.
this time.
He was on time.
He came in on time,
Right.
actually before time,
Okay.
and he walked in. They brought him in. We all sat, and then at 9:27, exactly 9:27 a.m., the judge walked in, and we all stood, and they read the rights and the whole proceeding, and it went on for a while.
Uh-huh.
When it got to Stanton Waterspoon's case, it took the judge a while because he made sure he went through the folders, and the file was very thick.
Right.
Went through and they asked the prosecution, what are the charges? And he says, 27 charges against Mr. Waterspoon.
Yeah.
And they
27
went,
charges.
yes, they went through the charges. The one that broke the camel's back, as you know, was the wire fraud.
The wire fraud that he
The wire
pleaded
fraud.
guilty to.
The wire fraud was one that the federal government knew if they were doing anything else, that particular one they just couldn't drop because it was so blatantly done,
Yeah.
and they had the evidence. So finally, Mr. Waterspoon, lawyer came in and began to plead on his behalf, saying that Mr. Waterspoon came from a country called the Republic of Liberia,
Yeah.
that came from a brutal civil war where Stanton Waterspoon witnessed carnage, where his father was brutally beaten almost to death, where he has seen untold wanton destruction and carnage. He says these are things that have impacted Stanton Waterspoon, and he is traumatized. Waterspoon is traumatized. A man on a normal condition would not do what he did. But in addition to that, she says,
Yeah.
usually people that come from countries of this nature, that come from civil war, usually don't return to the civil war because they do not want to be reminded. But she reminded the judge that Stanton Waterspoon came back to Liberia, became a benevolent contributor to the society. He was into something called God Can Bless Anybody, and he was giving money to cancer patients. He was doing a lot of good things in the country. In
Right.
fact, he is a champion of democracy in Liberia. He's been making a lot of contributions towards democracy, and she went on and on and on. That Stanton Waterspoon is a war victim, a man who basically,
But let me break you there for a minute. All of the character witnesses, 19, none of them mentioned his wartime days. They all said that he was a great man in the church, in the community, and all of that, but they didn't speak about him going through any violence in the war, his family, whatsoever. How, how can one be so contradictory?
well, and not only that, but not one of them stood up to the podium. Not one.
Right.
None came to the podium. So the lawyer named them, and she said, Mr. Fadiga is a friend, and one say he's a therapist, one say he worked for the federal government. They won't tell you where he worked, what he did. One say he was a therapist. He won't tell the folks which department he works for, what certification he has, what makes him a therapist. None of
Right.
that. But these are the things that the lawyer wanted to make sure that these people did not take the stand. Because if they took the stand, they would be opening a Pandora's box where the
Pandora box.
prosecution we know and ask who these people are.
Right.
If you look at the letters that were written, everybody here basically are people who have benefited from Stanton
From
Witherspoon,
Stanton Witherspoon. We
and
call
those
them participants.
and those that he brought to court were all his employees, with the exception. In fact, I won't be surprised if his mother-in-law and his wife, they are all part of the deal here, because
Yeah.
when they came, basically nobody mentioned that the Fadigas are all partners with Spoon. Nobody mentioned the relationship between Reverend Collison and Stanton Witherspoon.
Yeah.
Nobody mentioned any of the relationship to him. In fact, the letters that were read, the letter that was sent to the judge, nobody would say what relationship Jerome Verder had with Mr. Witherspoon, what relationship Dr. Francine Richardson had. None
Yeah.
of that. They just wrote these letters. In fact, the former ambassador just wrote ambassador, but wouldn't say ambassador Republic of Liberia or what
No.
former, nothing. They were just vague. Like Mr. Jerome Verder said, he is, I guess, counselor, but wouldn't say where he worked,
Where he
what
works.
firm he worked for,
Right.
what license he has, none of that. So these are the kind of things, and I'm glad the judge did not mention, did not acknowledge these letters, but he went strictly by the book and said that we are going to go by the book.
Right.
The lawyer from Mr. Stanton Witherspoon was pleading fervently for 18 months in jail.
Right.
She pled, she says, his benevolent work, he worked with children, he worked with the elderly, he championed of democracy in Liberia.
Right.
These are all evidence that he needs to be where he is.
Okay.
And
Folks, you are listening to a descriptive analysis of what transpired in the United States Southern District Federal Court there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with my co-host here, Jerome Gayman.
I'm not
Uh,
Verder, please.
no, you are not Verder. You are not Verder. Jerome Gayman bringing us up to date, up to the minute analysis here. And if you just join us here, we say welcome to you, Mr. Gayman. Let's go to the prosecution. Describe for us here their mode and their presentation, their counter.
Well, first of all, I want to say a big thank you to Freedom FM, all of our sister stations that are relaying this.
I see Alfonso Zionso
Yeah,
behind
Mr.
you.
So, Mr. So, can you
Yeah,
come on here real
let's
quick?
get Mr. So on here.
Mr. So, come on here real quick. Mr. So, how you doing there, sir?
Good.
It was my first time meeting you in person.
Absolutely.
No,
We just been
Uh,
interfacing.
That's correct. That's correct.
Alfonso Zionso.
Michael, how you doing, buddy? How are you?
I'm great. I don't know if you can see me on camera, but
No,
we are having
can't.
we're having some technical issues here with the set tonight here in studio.
We
But,
we can't see you.
Right. I can see you, so you know.
Good. Okay.
Okay, so Alfonso, welcome. We are having some descriptive analysis of what happened in the courthouse this morning, and we are at the point, at the junction where we are trying to get the mindset of the prosecuting attorneys. What were their position, their arguments, their counter? But first, tell our folks here who is Alfonso Zionso.
Well, I am, like you said, I'm Alfonso Zienso. I also in the news industry, Liberia Public Radio, which Michael Glman is aware of.
Absolutely.
Healthcare is based right here in the U.S. and as well as in Liberia.
No doubt. So help us here. Give us your take on what we're not ready for the sentencing yet. How many
Yes.
years or how many months? But what you observe with the convicted felon. Now he's going to jail. Stanton Witherspoon, the criminal. What you observe with him, his demeanor, his posture, his family, those that came to support him. Describe their outlooks.
Look, I walked into the court this morning by 9:05 because the process was kicked off by 9:30. I was
Yeah,
there actually when Gilmore came in. And so I met them, the fatty guy that they know me, they met Shook, and I introduced myself. So the very first thing that came out of his lawyer, Erica, was that nobody is going to speak to the media. Like, okay, but will you speak after? They said no, they're not going to talk. But
yeah,
overall, Stanton, he was dressed in a navy blue or royal blue suit with white dress, shirt, brown shoes. His wife was there. I got to know the wife was there when we entered the court finally
yeah.
because his lawyer was making an argument. But to be honest, the Stanton I saw today, that's not the Stanton that I know when he's on his podcast because he knew what was going to happen.
Uh-huh.
So by the time the lawyer said, "Don't," he's not going to talk to the media. He said, "Oh, feel free." She walked out. He walked out with the party guy. She went there and said, "Hey, feel relaxed. The lawyer going to be here. We're going to go in there."
Yeah.
But he was remorseful because he knew what was going to happen.
The thing,
Stanton, I think he cried. I can say that, and that's
he,
anybody worth crying because he admitted, he alluded that it was no excuse to what he did.
yeah,
He brought shame to his country. He brought shame to his family, the people that trust him. But interestingly, I was making this argument. I was wondering the way he talks and
yeah,
the way he consistently being on the level was that. But yeah, the American system, no matter what you do, they have what they call this sort of community service. For some reason, that kicks into my head, and
yeah,
that was one of the points his lawyer was making. Stanton is giving back to the community. He's
yeah,
actively involved into the democratic process in Liberia. How it's being done, he didn't go into that. But I alluded that, hey, Stanton has over 300,000 followers. Stanton is a good man. Stanton went back during the what's the last virus? COVID. He went back. He gave donation. He raised money to. You know, Michael, when you're in a situation, somebody is defending you, they got to give the good
we'll get the good
side of
side.
you.
Yeah,
But the
absolutely.
prosecutor, I can tell you, but they were very kind of like forceful. What was
Uh-huh.
interesting, Gilman, if you realize that Renee, the other co-conspirator, was throwing every out of the kitchen sink as
Stanton.
Stanton.
That's right.
I'm not sure
Let's
how
let's hear,
that
let's
happened.
hear that. Yeah, let's hear that. What did Renee say? Benadel,
No, not him. His lawyer.
his
His
lawyer.
lawyer,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
The law.
his lawyer was more or less kind of indicting Stanton more and
Stanton.
more that it was his Stanton that got Renee into this. You heard that, right?
Yes, into the mess. That's
Like,
correct.
well, wait a
But
minute. Out of them, yeah. So that was kind of like quite interesting. But a good
but
thing
court
because he was
documents
the first.
the court
He was
documents said that Stanton is the ringleader in this game.
Yes, yes. Even the prosecutor, that was the argument that they were making that, hey, Renee got into this because of Stanton. But then when Stanton lawyer came, Erica came in to say, hey, no, Stanton is just a recruiter. But yeah, but the prosecutor was very, very much strategic in the question was asking even Renee because Renee West spoke.
Yeah. So
Stanton West did not speak. Nobody else spoke
he took
besides
he
the
took he,
he
he
took the
took
stand first.
he took Renee's wife to the shredder.
Right. And then he said, but wait a minute, you said you were nice. How long, how many months it
Did
took
you
you? And
take?
there are other people to get your license and other people, buying it or getting it. So how do you feel? I think that was a bone in the throat question
Yes,
that
yes.
I told her.
She got stuck.
Yeah, she got stuck. His son came to also kind of speak. He was in tears that he's going to make it, Mrs. Die, obviously, any of us who found ourselves in that
His
situation.
son,
Renee's son.
Renee's son.
Renee's son. Okay, okay,
Right.
Yeah,
Renee's
four
son.
relay. No, all
Yeah,
of us went on. I would say about 10% came with me.
Yeah.
I come to there.
None took the stand.
Nobody took. I think the
I-
judge. That was very strategic because they didn't want anything to have been complicated or
So,
so.
and not only that, but they saw what happened to Renee's wife.
Yes, because that was giving the
That's
prosecutor
correct.
more
There you
open
go.
more room for
There you
conversation.
go. There
So
you
she
go.
just said, you know what?
I
They
just
are
called
here.
her name. I just called her name.
Yeah, and yes, and she just read their name and giving various description. But she was saying that they asked them to submit whether something was coming from the community, and you said instead of 3, she submitted protected. Coming
Yeah.
from Liberia, coming from USA,
I got him
Europe,
here. Yeah.
Asia, and all of that, making the case for Stanton that even though this is what he did, but he's still a good man. But Stanton came, finally took the stage for 7-8 meetings approximately. He was in tears. That was not a Stanton that I know. And he alluded of what he's doing. He took full responsibility and that he going to deal with it for the rest of his life, which you can see because I saw his eyes. They were all, red. Red. That was
Listen,
awesome.
you notice how humble
Yeah.
and how shaky he was. He was shaking. His hand was shaking. And I
Come
told
on. If you appear before Joyce Smith, will you not be humble?
Well-
you gotta be humble. Well, nothing else he could do.
and this is what we kept saying about
Right.
people who are bullies. Okay? People who are bullies, when they bully folks, usually it's a matter of bravado. Okay? They're trying to show who they are, but in reality, they are not really tough. Because what the folks say, the way to deal with a bully is to hit him first, hit him hard.
But remember, there's also a saying, Steve cross Steve.
That's
There are
right.
certain people,
That-
at that point in time, he was powerful.
Let's take our people to Alfonso. Alfonso, you're gonna be with us throughout the program, right?
How long you gonna be?
For a few more minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Yeah,
maybe
we'll
a
be
few more
here.
minutes.
Yeah.
I already made my
But
flight.
take us into the forfeiture of properties. We have the court document here with us, preliminary order of forfeiture, and it says this matter is before the court upon notion of the United States of America, the United States, for entry of a preliminary order of forfeiture motion against defendant Stanton Witherspoon, the defendant. The court has considered the motion is otherwise advised in the premises and finds as follows.
Well,
Uh,
Mr. Gilman,
yeah,
that was a foregone conclusion. They didn't discuss that, obviously,
uh,
because it was agreed to. So all of those things that they went over in the last time, they didn't go over it.
yeah,
What was interesting was the forfeiture and the presentation of a $3.5 million check.
that was what he presented in court today.
Yes.
3.5 Bank of America.
Yeah, Bank of America. The
Bank
court,
of America.
the judge himself said, in my entire life, my entire career, I have never seen a check for this amount. Then he said, I hope it's not Liberian dollars. And the whole court just went, wow.
You joking? The judge said that.
Yeah. The judge said, I hope it's not a Liberian dollar.
It's not a Labrador dollar check.
Yeah, he said, because I have seen some strange things happen in this courtroom in
But
my
not-
career.
Yeah.
They give you checks and you clap for them and then you come back and bounce. The check is no good.
The
You
check
know,
is
so-
no good.
That's why he was saying.
So
Was
the
that-
lawyer
was that-
validated, his lawyer validated the check. It's a Bank of America
Yeah, but-
check.
Yeah, but listen.
So no, what I'm saying now, she's also put her profession on the line. So she says it's in her possession. She didn't say instant on possession.
Oh, yeah.
So the court going to take note on that as well.
Yeah, but listen now. That's why when you even do your income tax or you do anything legal, they will tell you to sign. You are signing, even though I'm fixing it for you, you are signing, you are taking full responsibility. The check is, you give me the check. I got a $3.5 million check. That's what it says on there.
Right.
It says Bank of America. Then she said, then we're going to make sure that the logistics and everything works out, that the transfer. So she gave herself a leeway that we're going to make sure that everything, the transfer, everything is
I
right.
think she understands what she was doing.
Oh, yeah,
What caught my
Was
attention
it a was it a
we
was it a
cooperate and make full disclosure of the financial disclosure.
okay, bear with us here. They are reporting
Make
from
full
on the streets.
disclosure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it
excuse me a little bit. There's a lot of noise.
Yeah. Was the check a personal check, a manager's check, a cashier's check? What
Well,
kind of check was it?
No, the
Well,
check,
it was in display.
it was not displayed.
It was in the envelope, so we don't know.
They want the
exactly.
Labrador method. We buy pig in the bag.
Well,
Yeah.
She lifted the evidence. Said we got a
Yeah,
$3.5 billion check in
yeah,
here,
so,
and we're going to send it over to the church, either clerk of court
what
or
I,
bailiff or something.
yeah, what is so interesting for George asked to do a full financial disclosure.
Yes.
That is key and consequential in this here. This disclosure is going to be extended to Liberia of his property, his wealth, or whatever. But also remember, they were saying they're going to look at on where he started from to get where he get. So that is something interesting. We gotta wait and see what happens in that.
Yes. The judge
Right.
also said, working with the prosecutor here, that they believe that 90 days is enough for him to do all full disclosure. He has to surrender and give full disclosure on everything, including interest, wherever his interest lies,
Yeah.
directly or indirectly. We went over that the last time you were here.
Right.
So the judge think 90 days is enough. And come January 31st, 2024, Stanton Weatherspoon is going to go to jail for
Right.
minimum 41 months. And
Okay.
the 41 months is predicated on whether he works,
Yeah, he's
cooperate, and does all of those things that the judge looking forward to the full disclosure, all of that. Now, from now to January, if that doesn't happen, that means he forfeit this agreement.
He has to come clean.
He has to come clean. He got
Full
to 90 days
disclosure.
to come clean.
Yeah. Was he able to speak? I heard you say he was crying.
Yes,
Well, he
did
spoke.
you-
he
You mean
spoke.
you mean Stanton? Stanton spoke.
Yeah.
Stanton
Stanton
took the
spoke.
stand for almost 7 to 8
I
days.
told you he was shaky. He was crying. His voice was shaky. You could barely hear him at times. This man said, George, he reminded me of the preacher from Louisiana that said, Lord, I have sinned against you. The guy that went to Liberia and got caught with some girls. That preacher is the same moment. He says, I am embarrassed. In fact, I have it written here.
Yeah.
He said, I am embarrassed. I have embarrassed. Yes, I brought disgrace to my family, to my country, and people that believe in me. So he went on and on and on. One of the things that was funny was Mr. Bernadette and both lawyers.
Yeah.
So someone mentioned that they are so ethical, their moral value aligned, and I was saying, "Are you kidding me? How can you be so morally outstanding,
Yeah.
and be ethical? How can you use those two words? You've been convicted for fraud. You are killing people, and you say you are moral and ethical. How is that possible?"
So what is still not clear? This is just over Florida. I don't know what Delaware, Texas, New Jersey. What are they going to do there? We still don't know what's going to happen. This is something strictly with Florida.
Absolutely.
Whether they're going to also file other charges, we do not know yet. So I don't think that's
Whether there will be civil suits.
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
Yes.
So that we don't know yet. So I mean that's something down the road. I am not saying they should do it or it's going to happen, but we know all of these places where these malpractices of this fraudulent certificates, diplomas, and we saw how people downsize to let people go. So we don't know what's going to happen.
Okay. Those that want to support that want to support him, did they speak to you? Did they say anything like the Fadiga brothers and others? Did they say anything to you?
No.
No, nobody's. Well, besides just casual lecture. Oh, Mr. So nice meeting you. You had a handshake with me?
No.
Yeah, okay. I had a handshake with one of the two of them looks alike actually.
Uh-huh.
So
They are twin brothers.
Yeah, they all looks alike. So
Yeah.
yeah. So but they didn't talk. And like I said, that was the very first thing when I walked in, when she recognized from the media. She told them no one speaks to the media because
That's right. That's a youth again.
Yeah.
Did the judge say he gonna go for let's be clear here. What are the punishments outline for Stanton Witherspoon? Is he going away for 41 months come
Yeah.
January 31st, or what?
And Michael, you were here. The judge made it clear. In the federal system, there is no parole. You were here when he made that clear.
Absolutely.
So when you show up for your sentencing 41 months, and the 41 months, it is contingent on him coming clean within the next 90 days.
Right.
So let's say he did everything that the judge requires him to do. Yes, he would do the 41 months, and he would do 3 years probation, homebound, and all that other stuff. 3 years in addition when he gets out, and then the fines and the forfeiture.
For supervision.
Yeah, well, you know how the probation stuff goes.
Yeah.
The supervision piece. You have to report to your probation officer X amount of time, and you cannot go off course and all of that. So all that. Now the forfeiture you talked about, we
Yeah.
discussed it the last time he was here.
Yeah.
All the homes and property that were listed in Florida, New Jersey, Delaware, Pennsylvania. I think there were a total of 7 properties, mega properties that that were forfeited. That is the minimum. Now, whatever comes out within the next 90 days in discovery, because he has to come clean.
He has to come clean.
Full disclosure. He has no choice, because based on when you were here, the prosecutor picked up a file that was this thick, and the judge asked, Mr. Prosecutor, can you win this case that we went to trial? What is your reliance? And the prosecutor said, this is our file. We have tracked this man since 2018. We have text messages. We have bank transfer. We have all the wire transactions, text messages, the email, wire transfer, money transfer, payment made, check written. They got all over 5 years, the FBI. So he had nowhere to turn. So they are telling him, I know what you were talking about, the overseas. That's what the judge says. Your interest, whether directly or indirectly, have to be fully disclosed.
Right.
And they gave him 90 days to do that. He needs to meet with the prosecution's office for them to go ahead and begin the forensic as to how they can do that.
So, I'm concerned. Before mentioning this network, like that, would that add into this disclosure?
Well, the guy said, your interest, directly or indirectly, wherever it is.
She was making an argument.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So what I'm asking now, would that be added into this disclosure?
It got to be, because now she discloses she's a lawyer, okay? She discloses that he has overseas investment.
And that's what I wanted to talk about.
She wouldn't do it. But the idea that she mentioned it, it was now like she was afraid talking to you or the press, because she did not want whatever you say to be used against you or against her client. And she has said that. So most likely, it has to be factored into what they are doing. That if you have, because Uncle Sam...
Do you think the prosecutor is going to take note of that?
Of course. That's why the judge asked the prosecutor...
Gentlemen, there's a little bit of confusion on social media and in other chat rooms about this 41 months. People are suggesting or saying that that's how much time it would take to sentence him. Others are saying no, the judge sentenced him for 41 months.
He's sentenced for 41.
He's sentenced today was the sentence.
So, Michael, what we can say, what we know, Glman was in the courtroom. I was in the courtroom.
Yeah.
The judge took a decision. He sentenced for 41 months.
Yeah.
And after the 41 months, it kicks off of January 31st, Wednesday at 12 noon.
That's correct.
He will be reporting.
Is he going back to the court, or he going straight to the jailhouse?
No, straight to jail.
You mean on the 31st?
On the 31st.
Oh, no,
he's not coming back.
He's not coming back to court. In fact,
we can say he's going home today.
Yes.
On the 31st now, I think today was yesterday to sentencing.
Yes.
And then 31st by 12 noon, because the lawyer...
By 12 noon, yeah.
12 noon, he's going to be in Florida. right?
Wherever.
They didn't say.
No, they
I
didn't
mean,
say.
is it
But
at federal? That would be the
what,
government determines where to send you.
yes, when it's federal, they can send you
Yeah, they can
anywhere,
send you
They
anywhere.
send
anywhere.
you anywhere.
We
And
don't know for now.
we don't
We don't
know
know. They didn't make it known.
because
Maybe the document by Friday we should be able to get the
yes,
document.
because I
But
know
I'm
I
I,
not
know
sure what are you going to be
I
next.
know a gentleman who was involved, a Liberian guy who was involved into tax scheme, and they sentenced him federally here in Florida, but he served his time in Alabama
Oh,
and some other place in Kentucky.
yeah. Okay.
So they can send you anywhere.
So it's a okay.
Yes,
Got it.
it's to their discretion. So
Yeah.
that's why they did.
Yeah.
But we got it. I got a note here. He reports he was sentenced today.
You were sentenced today.
There is no
you were
more hearing
sentenced.
on this. This is absolutely
I think
sentenced
that's.
today.
I believe
Okay,
it.
we have the court document here. Let's read it, and then you guys give your analysis on that, and then we take a few calls, and then we call it. Okay.
Great.
So yeah. So here is the preliminary order of forfeiture. This matter is before the court upon motion of the United States of America, the United States, for entry of a preliminary order of forfeiture motion against defendant Stanton Witherspoon, the defendant. The court has considered the motion is otherwise advised in the premises and finds as follows. On January 12, 2023, a grand jury returned an indictment charging the defendant in count one with conspiracy to commit wire fraud in violation of 18
I'll
USC
call you.
1349, among other counts. Indictment ECF number one.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
779.
you can mute yourself as I read. You can mute yourself as I read.
Yeah,
You
let
can
me
mute,
let me.
you can mute yourself as I read this so that everybody understands. Thank you. On January 12, 2023, a grand jury returned an indictment charging the defendant in count one with conspiracy to commit wire fraud in violation of 18 USC section 1349, among other counts. Indictment ECF number one. The indictment also contained forfeiture allegations which alleged that upon conviction of a violation of 18 USC 1349, the defendant shall forfeit any property, real or personal, which constitutes or is derived from proceeds traceable to such offense, pursuant to 18 USC section 981A1C, CID at 11. The United States has since identified the following additional assets subject to forfeiture collectively. Please mute the line. Mute the line. Mute yourself. Thank you. Mute yourself. I will let you know. Let me finish reading this document. The United States has since identified the following additional assets subject to forfeiture collectively. The substitute property. One, real property located at 200 Mills Road, Burlington, New Jersey, 08016. Real property located at 77 Vincent Drive, Burlington, New Jersey, 08016. Real property located at 55 Pembroke Lane, Willingboro, New Jersey, 08046. Real property located at 55 Pembroke Lane, Willingboro, New Jersey, 08046. On August 24, 2023, the court accepted the defendant's guilty plea to count one of the indictment. See main entry ECF number 68 plea agreement. As per the guilty plea, the defendant agreed to a forfeiture money judgment in the amount of 3.5 million United States dollar. Plea agreement 8CA 8 ECF number 74. In support of the guilty plea, the defendant executed a factual proffer, and the court found that there were a factual basis to support the defendant's conviction. See factual proffer ECF number 73. The factual proffer also provides a basis for the forfeiture of property. See ID at 4. According to the factual proffer, the defendant was the founder and president of Nursing Education Resource Center, NERC. See factual proffer at 2 ECF number 71. The defendant entered into an agreement with co-conspirator 1 in or around November 2018 to become a 50% owner of Siena Education Center, LLC, and Siena College, collectively, Siena, which was facility located in Hill, Florida, and offered a practical nursing program and registered nurse Bachelor of Science in Nursing program, ID at 1-2. From at least November 2018 through October 2021 in Broward County, the defendant, Renee Benadel, Alfred Selu, co-conspirator 2, and others via interstate wire communications solicited and recruited co-conspirators seeking nursing credentials and employment as registered nurses, RN, and licensed practical nurses, LPN. The defendant and others sent and caused to be sent information used to create false and fraudulent transcripts and nursing diplomas, falsely representing that the co-conspirators had attended Siena College in Florida and completed the necessary courses and or clinics to obtain RN or LPN diploma, when in fact the co-conspirators had never actually completed the necessary courses and or clinicals. The defendant earned $3.5 million as a result of his participation in the scheme. Based on the record in this case, the total value of the proceeds traceable to the offense of conviction is $3.5 million, which sum may be sought as a forfeiture money judgment pursuant to Rule 32.2 of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure. Accordingly, based on the foregoing, the evidence in the record, and for good cause shown, the motion is granted, and it is hereby ordered that 1. Pursuant to 18 U.S.C. Section 98A 1C 21 U.S.C. Section 853 and Rule 32.2 of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure, a forfeiture money judgment in the amount of $3.5 million is hereby entered against the defendant. The United States, 2. The United States is authorized to conduct any discovery that might be necessary to identify, locate, or dispose of forfeited property, and to resolve any third-party petition pursuant to Rule 32.2 B3 C1B of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure and 21 U.S.C. Three, pursuant to Rule 32B4 of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure, this order is final as to the defendant. Number four, the court shall retain jurisdiction in this matter for the purpose of entering for the purpose of entering I'm on the radio. For the purpose of entering this order and pursuant to Rule 32.2E1 of the Federal Rules of Criminal Procedure, shall amend this order or enter other orders as necessary to forfeit additional specific property when identified. Done and ordered in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, this second day of November 2023. Rodney Smith, United States District Judge. Jerome Glman, unmute yourself, please.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
It is. It is mind-boggling
Uh-huh.
how this thing has unfolded. How Mr. Weatherspoon admitted not only is he embarrassed and disgraced, but that he he exuded to some degree a split personality
Yeah.
where on his own network he he behaves as though he is king. But something that his lawyer said, she said, Senator Weatherspoon, because of the war, suffered a psychological trauma. She said he suffered a psychological trauma to which he is enduring.
Yeah.
So when this guy broke down and cried and he was shaking, he said, I have embarrassed myself, I have embarrassed my family, I have shamed my family, my children, and my country. He says, George, if I told you anything else, there is no excuses here.
Yeah.
It is unbearable, the shame and the embarrassment that I go through and I will go through for the rest of my life. So he was honest to some degree. You could tell that for a man, a grown man to cry and say, I am disgraced. Not only that, but those that follow me
Yeah.
and the burden of walking in the community with this hanging over my head for the rest of my life is unbearable. And the lawyer said, with all this, with the psychological trauma he suffered, it would behoove the system. Not only did he pay back the money and forfeit everything he owns, but that he be given maximum 18 months in jail. And the judge and the prosecutor said there is a sentencing guideline to which the judge can maneuver a little bit up and down, but the minimum for his crime and what he has done is 63 to 72 months. No questions asked.
Right.
But the prosecutor also said, in addition to the case that we have filed, he has met with us consistently and he has been adding additional credible information uh, pertaining to what the federal government wants. Based on that, we know that he's coming clean because most of the information that we requested, some we didn't request, he was able to divulge them. So based on that, the
Yeah.
prosecutor said we will need more time to excavate. So when he used the word excavate, I mean they will dig up more.
Yeah. And then they also the statement I just read there talk about third party coming in with
That's correct.
information. Yeah.
So It
That
is.
would
It
that
is.
would be that would be people like us coming in to disclose information whatsoever.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
correct. And the third party also that they were referring to could be those in whose name properties were purchased, businesses were done, because the judge
Right.
made it clear
Yeah.
your interests,
Yeah.
wherever they may be,
Whatever
direct
it may
or
be.
indirect.
Yeah.
So that's the third party. If he used you to buy XYZ, like he said on his show the other day, the president or CDC asked him to purchase the headquarters of
Of
the Unity
Unity Party.
Party
Yeah.
so the Unity Party can be deprived. He also admitted on camera that he
Yeah.
raised money for Joseph Boycott,
Yeah.
and Mr. Costa sent someone from Providence, Rhode Island, to collect the money basically under the table. That is money that never went through the American system.
No.
That was outside the American system.
Uh-huh.
Those are things that mafias do, that crime organizations do, and it is part of racketeering. So they have a lot of Mr. Spoon based on his own testimonies, things words from his own mouth. These are things that was unfolding today in the courtroom. And the judge made it clear, I can do as much for you as I can, but this is the bare minimum that I can do. And it is predicated on you coming clean. He said,
Absolutely.
I'm satisfied with the prosecution say you are giving additional information every time you meet with them.
Right.
And they are satisfied. He turned around to the prosecutor and said, are you satisfied at the level and the speed at which the information is being given? And the judge and the prosecutor said, yes. I think we need more, but I think we need more time. And the judge said, what do you want? And the prosecutor said, maximum 90 days. We should be able to wrap it up.
Yeah.
So the judge told him, your sentencing is predicated on the 90 days. What you divulge, how satisfied the prosecution is. Based on that, we can go back to status quo.
No doubt.
So it
So,
was,
folks, you've been listening to descriptive analysis from inside the federal district court there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where Stanton Witherspoon was sentenced to 41 months in prison. That's 3 years, 3 years and 5 months, no parole, and of course forfeited all of his properties as well as 3.5 million United States dollars. Okay, our lines are now open. We'll take your calls and at 0776 104 104 0886 500 104, WhatsApp 231 886 500 104, WhatsApp 313 957 9702, and direct 313 957 9702. Let's take our first caller here. Yes, hello, caller. Yeah, yeah, welcome. Your name and where you call from?
Yes, I'm the Clubhouse man calling from Plaza Vista Community Club.
Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yes, I want to follow say something because in case we are following, I don't know how it goes because then Stanton Witherspoon was sentenced for 41 months in prison. And then we are getting back to the continuator to gather all the information. So what is going on? I don't really understand.
Okay, that's the American system. Mute the radio in the back and listen. Let me answer you quickly.
Yeah, I'm on the radio.
Okay. He's given 41 months to spend in jail.
Yeah.
Between now and January 31st is 90 days. He has to disclose everything the feds want from him. And then on the 31st, he report himself to jail. That's it. Thank you. Let's take the next caller here at 1917. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Glman. How you doing?
I'm good. Your name?
My name is Roland G. Silva, and I call from Johnsonville.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, my question is the way we have arrived to this point where he has been convicted and he has been sentenced.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he be involved in our politics and everything in this country? Is that possible? Is that how it works?
It's not supposed to work like that. But
okay, this is
yeah, it's not supposed to work like that. So we will see what happens.
Yeah, because our organization, we're trying to see whether if that is possible, then meaning we will not have no case against it. But if it is not possible, we can write the embassy or even write the American government concerning that, because the man is already convicted. If they feel it is possible, they all those are in the jail. We can give them the liberty to take part in every other thing.
Right, absolutely. That's a great point. Thank you very much. Let's take the next caller here. Hello? Yeah, your name? Jackson? Welcome. Turn the radio off. I want to hear that question. Go ahead. Is he not a convicted criminal?
He is a convicted criminal. He's a Liberian.
Okay. All right. You can go join him and serve the time with him. Okay. Yeah. Our lines are open here: 313-957-9702, WhatsApp and direct, or you can call us here on the local numbers here. Let's take this other caller here. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm Christopher Tato calling from Little Town.
Welcome, Christopher.
Thank you. I'm following the issue. Something that a little bit doubting me is that he is being sentenced today to be on probation for 90 days.
No, he's not on probation. He's within 90 days. He's supposed to make full disclosure of every information that the feds want from him. And by January 31st, if he's supposed to go to the Palace of Correction in Zwedru to go to jail or go to South Beach Center Street, he goes directly to South Beach Center Street, or he goes to the Palace of Correction, or he goes to Bella Yala. He's not going back to the courthouse on January 31st before 12 o'clock local time, Eastern Standard Time, which will be 4 p.m. here or 5 p.m. Based on when the time changes. So it will actually be 5 p.m. here when Stanton Witherspoon is supposed to report to jail. And we will be reporting that to you.
Yeah, or something that my question is, there's a right limited in certain direction.
Absolutely. His rights, all his civil liberties are taken away from him. All his civil rights, the right to vote, the right to everything has been taken away from him.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, our lines are open here. Let's take this caller. Hello? Welcome. Let's hear you. No, he will report to jail on January 31st. No, he will go to jail on January 31st. He was sentenced today. Thank you. Yeah, he was sentenced today. So he goes to jail for 3 years, 5 months on January 31st. Thank you. Let's take the next caller here. 443-1217. Hello, your name?
Mr. Glman, this is Masale, Maryland, USA.
Welcome, Masale. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Mr. Glman, you see, I see people there all on the social media talking, oh yeah, thank God, at least you thank God working. People don't know. You know what it means to even spend 1 month in federal prison in America. 1 month. You don't even say no this thing. 1 month or even say spend 1 month in federal prison in America. You should pray against that for any of your family member in this country. Then they talking 3 years, 5 more than that, any kind of beating. Sedition are happy. I guess starter will not who can run the last propaganda. If God say George Weah is the president, he's the president. Nobody happy of him going to prison. Why you sow is why you reap.
What you reap.
You know how someone embarrassed and humiliated us in this country? When we go for Lord to the burial cafeteria, when they're reading the news, they say for Liberia, and then everybody looking at us. You and I know how the people poke in this country.
Right.
Then they come to you, so that why we in your country. You know how we are being embarrassed and humiliated in this country, all because of his selfish game. Then you're celebrating for 3 years in prison. You're not even celebrating the punishment of 1 month in federal prison.
Right.
I'm so sad for our people in our country.
Thank you very much.
What they don't know is more than them. Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, then, Masale from Maryland. Let's take this other caller here. Hello, caller.
Hello?
Yes, welcome. Yeah.
I'll let you start by telling you thank you for that as well as
Yeah.
You know, I just look at our friends in that position and they were celebrating on Facebook. I mean, if you really read the full document, you realize that certain words form is finished.
Finished.
It is finished. Can you imagine this guy has to stay clean for 90 days to clear all of his assets,
Everything.
all of his properties,
Yeah.
disclose every information about his stuff to the federal government.
Yeah.
And after those 90 days, if it doesn't come clean, there's a risk that his time increase.
Increase.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, go to a federal prison for 41 months, and you come back, and you get additional 3 years.
3 years. 3 years. Yeah.
Finish. The mayor will get booked after 20 months in jail. In fact, the 90 days that you'll be out. Each time they don't go to the court and the line to go in. That's a slow financial burden afterwards. Imagine someone who has been sitting for $5 a day for a full house.
Yeah.
Sarah is going through a lot.
And the judge is saying it's the first time I've seen this in my career.
Oh yeah. Imagine this guy is so desperate to say I'm just too wrong working our policy or you're fucking himself. Serious problem. Imagine how she shot with us to pick up the day with us and get better. The man is not body. Only when I say here you can see it.
Absolutely.
He's worried.
He's worried.
You get what I'm saying? 90 days to stay outside, you know, to remain clean for 90 days, declare access and information to the federal government. You see that something happened for him, then we will be celebrating. But of course, it's finished. F-I-N-I-S-H-A-D.
Finished.
It's finished.
Yeah.
I just pray on January 31st when he's going to jail and he doesn't come to school. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Glman,
Yeah.
we want to be very clear here. Our folks, or a lot of folks, do not know the difference between jail and prison.
And prison. Yeah.
This is not jail. He's not going to jail.
He's going to prison.
He's going to federal prison.
Federal prison.
Jail is you're driving drunk or you get a ticket and they take you to jail for a while. You
Yeah.
spend a couple of weeks or days, you come out. We are now talking about maximum federal prison.
Federal prison.
So there's a big difference.
Yeah.
When you go to jail, you know where you're going because you know where the local jail is.
Yeah.
In the federal system, they send you anywhere.
You don't know where you're going.
That's correct. You could be
You
sentenced
report-
to New
You
Jersey.
report to the first one. After 1 day, after 6 months, after 3 months, they can move you to another facility.
That's correct.
And you don't know.
Across the country. Across the country.
Yeah. You're not going to be comfortable at one place. Yeah. Let's take the next caller here. Hello, caller. Yeah. Hello. You sounded very low. Let me see. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Correct. Welcome.
Thank you so much. The answer, as I put you said, we are not happy of the sentence. But the matter of fact is that he's a Liberian, and what happens is that the allegation, the property will allow you that one today, you have a sentence. We see, like, you don't trade for bad for another friend.
Oh.
Yes. This guy, then, is saying things again, it's been like, what is being corrupt, this one, that one. And today now you are being sentenced for the someone that you are saying there.
Yeah.
When I say just one single, who are like friends, we're not having of you coming to jail or be sentenced. But the truth is, there you will feel. Like, God, you know, like, if you say down on just your skin.
Absolutely.
If you don't take the guy in your skin, so that if you come to, so we're not having of people because the who are dead, that's the other truth. But that's what they need. That's very clear now.
Thank you very much. Let's take this next caller here. Hello? Hello, caller?
Yeah, my name is Akiba. I just want to know. The why they put in a police that you get access to the video to that, or I just want to know.
Say that again.
Yeah, it's not. Why do you don't have to never go to access to that? Why is it right? So that's no real station at all?
I don't know. When he pleaded guilty on August 24th, the next day he was on his radio. I don't know whether he's going to go back there. It's up to him.
Yeah. Because I want to know.
That's why they say he got to make full disclosure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you very much. All right, folks, we're going to take this other caller here quickly. Hello, caller.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Jason Patrick Brown Senior.
Uh-huh.
And I call for electoral district number 9, Moswara County, Rototan Community of Christians.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, I listened to the caller who just called a few times ago that Liberians are happy. In fact, the sentence in the U.S. is very tough. It is like 1 month. But the issue is, the very Liberian in Liberia, they have been saying that the issue of precedent should be set.
Yeah.
So what now when precedent is set on somebody
Yeah.
who is highly criminal minded and criminal oriented, and people discussing it, they say that people celebrating.
Yeah.
Yesterday, it happened to 3 officials of the Liberian government. In this government, the president, we are led government.
Yeah.
They were sanctioned, and people celebrated. Yes, in fact, these are people that should be dismissed. And immediately, president, we are dismissed them, and they are no longer part of this government.
Right.
That is precedent. So when precedent is set on water spoon, that's something that we Liberians should talk about.
Absolutely.
Because the issue of law and abiding, it should be something to be, all over the world. So for me, I don't see anything wrong with that.
No.
So let him face the punishment. Even if he was my father and he did that, let him face the punishment.
Right.
Because that alone has tarnished the reputation of Liberians in America. So if he goes somewhere, Waterspoon is a criminal from where? Liberia. So he has tarnished the image of Liberia.
Absolutely.
And somebody who set the image for Liberia, which is President Weah, for the soccer arena, that every footballer, even if you go in you or any part of the world, when you see from Liberia, they can respect. So George Weah, they can respect you.
Right.
But now he has damaged the respect of the Liberian people. So I highly appreciate the American government
the system,
for
yeah.
the step taken so far.
Absolutely.
Thank you for affording me the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Let's take Alf Ross there from the States.
Mr. Glman.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, I know we got signal here. We got to go.
Yeah.
Can I join you by audio later on?
Yeah, we got about 5 minutes left.
Okay, good. Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's take Alf Ross. Alf, welcome. Our last caller.
Yeah, thank you. No, I was just saying, the difference between praising and and jail. I said that the man will go to Hotel California.
Hotel California. Absolutely. Thank you. We're gonna squeeze one last one here. This color. Hello, color, your name? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, my name is Vivian Godwin. I do call for Second Bridge.
Let's hear you.
I can tell you that as the previous caller just make mention, these
Right.
are people who, yes, damage the image of our country, Liberia, and when they are in the eye that is hidden, they pretend to be a clear personality.
Right.
And when God exposes them, then it looks small. With that, we also look at him as he is one of us, and that cannot erase the fact that he's Liberian. But what I want to know is that after serving his 3 years, 5 months, will his property be given to him after serving his tenure in prison? That's all I want to know.
No. When they take it from him, they take it from him. They're not gonna give it back to him after he does time. Okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's losing everything. Thank you.
Mr.
Let's
Glman.
yeah.
Let me remind the caller what the conversation was between me and the prosecutor.
Yeah. I want to bring in Minister Porter. Minister Porter. Yeah, Porter, welcome. Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
So listen, I'm proud. I'm looking for the dollars and everything.
Right.
And look, let me be honest.
Yeah.
Downtown is a friend, he's a big brother. So like friend, but even though he's here, look, to forgive is fine. So I mean, he's gonna serve his time for what he did in the United States of America.
Right.
And I know after that, when Donald comes out, understand that he's still wrong and that they change from what he did. So for me, I wish him well. I wish he work out well.
Right.
And I hope that next because he's going to like what I said, in 6 months. So after those months, he will come out. He will always be like a friend. That's something that will take you.
Right.
I'll wish him well. And I said that I will show you.
Your line is bad.
They don't just accuse you want to know they have authentication. They have authenticated all the documentations that you wanted before they get accused. So I respect that. Son is a friend, son is a brother. I wish him well. Wherever it is, what time he's always to be incarcerated. I didn't really follow today. I've been kind of busy with our campaign. So you could just let me know when son is supposed to be incarcerated. I mean, that's
he's sentenced. I'll call you after or so. But he's sentenced for 41 months, and he reports to the jail. We don't know which one of the federal prison. He reports to on January 31st to begin his 41 months in jail. 31st. And he lost.
So
he forfeited all of his properties, including the one he lived in at 200 Mill Avenue.
Those 200 in New Jersey.
In New Jersey, all of his properties he forfeited all, and also paid. He had a check in the courtroom today for $3.5 million, which the judge said is the first time in his entire career as a judge that somebody come to the court with $3.5 million check. And he joked about it. I hope this is not a Liberian dollar check.
Okay.
Yeah. But thank you very much, Porter. Thank you. No doubt. Absolutely. All right, so folks, again, I'm sorry that we had a technical problem here with the camera in studio. I could not have my face on set so that you see how happy I am. All right, so that you see how happy I am. Regardless, I'm happy because when we broke this news, July of last year, that Stanton Witherspoon was being interrogated by the feds for XYZ that have come out today. Some of you insulted us. You call us names. You said a whole lot about us. Today is vindication. Despite all of the court documents that came out, you still did not believe that Stanton Witherspoon committed these crimes. When we told you he was going to jail, you said no. We told you, sir, even if he spent 1 hour in jail, 1 week, 1 day, whatever time he spends in jail, that's a vindication for us. Okay? He goes to jail for 41 months. He pays $3.5 million. He forfeits all of his properties. And you say it's okay? Well, it's okay because of the mindset you have. We cannot be advocates for social justice, for change, for democracy, for human rights, for all of the good things we want in our country, to see in our leaders, and then we support other people with such bad image, such bad mentality, such criminal nature. We support them because they are for us. They are our friends. They are our families. Okay? I'm not that person. The day it happens to me, sing and dance. Be happy because I'm going home tonight. I'm going to buy me a drink and I'm going to toast to it and I'll celebrate. I'm happy he's convicted. He's going to pay for his crime. If you do the crime, do the time. That's what we say in America. Commit the crime, do the time. Do have yourself a wonderful evening. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you.